This is a strange scene from the Old Testament. It's strange because we don't have this custom anymore, but back then, thousands of years ago, this was the custom of separating, cutting clean animals in half and putting them side by side. And then the person who's making a covenant would walk between them. And that person was basically saying that if I don't live up to my commitments, let my body be like them. And Abraham is there. And he sees this torch and this flaming pot walk through. So that's the presence of God walking through this symbol of covenant. And God gives him this land for all of his descendants. What's amazing about this story, I don't know if you catch it, because it's kind of a unique situation here, because God's covenant is that you're going to have all these descendants, numbered of all the stars that you could count them. And then a few lines later it says, when the sun had set, God asked him to look and count all the stars when the sun's out. You can only see one star when the sun is out. But you know that the other ones are there. It's that faith. It's that faith of knowing of what God is committing to. We live in our faith life having to have that faith. Even though we cannot see what God is promising us, we have to have that faith that it's there. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom should I fear? The Lord is my life refuge. Whom should I be afraid of? There's nothing to be afraid of. God is with me. This responsorial psalm also calls to mind our freedom of sin, our walking away, our exodus away from our sin into this life of Christian life, this life with God. It's exactly what happens at Transfiguration. We have the Old Testament meeting the New Testament. The Old Testament is foretelling the New Testament, and the New Testament is fulfilling the Old Testament. If we look at the Bible in that way, it just makes so much more sense. And so we see Moses and Elijah, the law and the prophets of the Old Testament, coming and speaking to Jesus, the fulfillment of the law and the prophets. And Jesus' fulfillment, his exodus, as they say in the gospel, as he's going to Jerusalem, his exodus, his Passover, the Last Supper, his suffering, his passion, his death, his resurrection. And what is in an exodus of? For our sins. So that we can walk away from our sins. And Christ dies, is the sacrifice. Just like the exodus of Moses, a lamb was sacrificed. Jesus is that lamb. This is the fulfillment of what it's about. And really, what it's all pointing us to, the Bible's pointing us towards, is God's love and mercy. His merciful love. In a couple of weeks, we're going to start as a parish, and I invite everyone to do this if they want, if they can. To do a consecration to divine mercy. It's 33 days to merciful love, and we'll start that on March 22nd. It's a book written by Father Mike Gately. It's a way to really get down in understanding God's mercy for us, how much He truly loves us, even though we might think our sins are way too much. No way God could love a sinner like me. God's love and mercy and how free it is and how available it is. I invite you to think about that, and then we'll celebrate a consecration of that on Divine Mercy Sunday, the Sunday after Easter. But that's what this is all pointing towards. The Old Testament, the New Testament. It all points to Jesus' exodus in Jerusalem. His passion, His suffering, His death, His resurrection. And so as we continue in our Lenten journey, as we continue to go towards Jerusalem with Jesus, let's call to mind the Father's love and mercy, the end point, the goal, the prize at the end of this journey. To really see the Father's love and mercy, to know that He's there with us. So why should we have any fear? Why should we be afraid? For He loves us, He's merciful, and He's with us always.